I'm Carl with Haunt 365, and today we're going to unbox and set up the Knight Dullihan animatronic from Home Depot. But before we do that, let's take a look at the dimensions of the box. That way we can make sure that it's going to fit in your vehicle. The box dimensions are 43.5 inches wide by 21.25 inches tall and 40 inches deep. All right, let's open up this box and see what we got. So we got the base labeled A. We got 4 base extenders labeled Z1. And I just can't make one of these videos without somebody mowing the lawn. You gotta be kidding me right now. Watch, here he comes. Here he is. This guy. Really? You got the horse neck labeled N, the horse tail labeled Z. You got the horse's rib cage labeled F. You've got the horse's pelvis labeled D. I don't know if it looks familiar to you or not, but anybody that has that 12-foot skeleton, this is very reminiscent of that. We've got 2 boots labeled S. Again, a lot of these animatronics this year from Home Depot have these heavy-duty boots. These are like a hard plastic. I'm actually really impressed with these. You'll also notice on the boots that there's a little cotter pin, so be mindful of that. The right arm labeled K, the left arm labeled J. Let's take bets on what other neighbors are going to mow their lawn today. Can't be real life. The left leg with foam labeled Q. The right leg, it's labeled T. The horse's left foreleg, it's labeled X. The horse's right foreleg, it's labeled Y. The horse's left lower leg, it's labeled B. This thing is heavy. It's like heavy duty. It feels like it's got some weight to it. The horse's right lower leg labeled C. The axe labeled V. The lower spine labeled E. The horse's head, it's labeled O. The right leg frame labeled R. We got 4 stakes labeled Z2. The rider's pants labeled G. The belt labeled U. The reins labeled P. The stirrup labeled W. And the rider's jacket that's labeled I. So then also inside the big box was this smaller box which had the following items. The rider's body with the control box that's labeled H. The lower spine labeled E. Now he's weed whacking. Are you kidding me? The lower spine labeled E, the small parts bag labeled Z3, which has an Allen wrench and some screws in it, the left hand that's labeled L, and the power adapter that's labeled Z4. So that's a lot of parts. So now that we got all the parts out of the box, let's lay them out and take a quick look at what they all look like. And since there were so many parts and pieces, these are the contents of that smaller box that was inside the larger box. All right, let's get to putting this guy together. So like most of these animatronics with a base, we're gonna start with that. This is labeled A. We're gonna go put that down first. I hate this guy so much. Well, now you gotta go with the blower. Okay, weed whip, blow, mow. Take your time, bro. Just take your time, man. Blowing the grass right now. Best practices right there. Let's blow the grass. Don't worry, nobody's out here trying to make a video. All right, let's try this again. Then it wants you to put the legs on. You got the left lower leg B and the right lower leg that's C. And if you go and you look in the hooves, I don't know if you can see, there's a pole. So that pole is actually going to go into that pole down there. And then we've got some screws so that it doesn't have the click lock on it. This actually has some screws, so this is where the Allen wrench and the screws come into play. So then there's a couple of holes in the back of each of these kind of hooves where you're going to go and you've got these screws and you got this Allen wrench that came with it, and you're going to go and you're going to secure basically the foot pole to the base. Then you've got the pelvis labeled D. You've got the poles on the bottoms here of the pelvis that are just going to slide in to the legs. There's no click lock or anything on these for some reason, so let me go take a look. We might need some more of these screws. We might be doing some more of that. And just as I suspected, there's a couple more of these small screws that need to go in that are on the back of the leg that are going to hook that pelvis together to the legs. So those screws don't want to line up with the holes very good. So I wasn't able to screw them in all the way, because to me that's an error on their part. There's no way that that should be like that. I did the best I could on that part, so hopefully it doesn't fall apart on me here in a bit. Now we got the lower spine labeled E. If you look on the back, you can kind of see a pull here. It actually does have a click lock, but also does have a spot for one of these screws here with the Allen wrench. So we're gonna go put that on there and just slide that on. Now we got the horse's rib cage. It's labeled F. Basically, you're just going to slide this down like that. And what do you know? We got another screw with the Allen wrench in there to hold that in. So now it's calling for you to lean this over the box that it came in to get to the next part. So let's do that. Now we got the pants labeled G. If you look, we got a little hole here in the bottom here, and that's because there's a little pole right here that's going to start building the rider on top of this horse. So we're going to put the pants there to be proactive. Also make sure that the cables that are at that point where that pole is are coming through that hole with the pants as well. Now we got the rider body with the control box labeled H. We're going to go and we're going to put that there on the horse. We actually have a pole right here that has the click lock, so we're going to click lock this right into that. That doesn't seem right. This whole thing's all jacked up. Now it wants you to plug the adapter labeled Z4 into the function control box. Now you're going to want to attach all the wires that were on the rib cage or in the rib cage of the horse to the function control box. Now it wants you to put the rider jacket labeled I over the control box and the rider body right here. Then it says you want to do the left arm labeled J. You're just going to slide it in the arm and attach it. Again, you've got these kind of prongs. It's going to just kind of sit down into that. Then you want to do the same thing with right arm K. As you can see, this one looks like it's been beat up a little bit. But then there's some hookups that you want to make sure that you're hooking the one up to the rider, and then I believe you're going to hook one up to the head. Then you've got the left hand labeled J. You want to go put that on. It also has this little cotter pin to kind of hold it in place. Now we got the right hand and skull that we're going to go and we're going to hook up. Same thing, it's got a little cotter pin at the end. You're going to just kind of put these prongs here at the end of the right arm, and then you're going to hook up these connectors at the end. Now we got the horse neck. It's labeled N. We're just going to kind of slide this pole into it, and then we're going to use that Allen wrench and another one of these screws to hold that tight. Now we've got the horse's head. It's labeled O. We're going to hook up one of these hookups, and then you've got a pole right here that it looks like it's got a click lock in the pole, so we're just going to snap that in. So I'm going to be honest, I just messed up. I realized I had the rib cage on backwards. These instructions aren't super clear on anything, which explains why the rider wouldn't click lock in, like it kept wanting them to go backwards. So that all makes sense now. So now I fixed that. Now we're going to put the neck and the head on, kind of get caught up from where we were. So first you want to make sure that you hook up the wires from the rib cage to the neck. Then there's also a screw that's going to be used with the Allen wrench here to secure the neck. Now it wants us to put the reins on, labeled P. It doesn't really give you much instructions. It just shows you this picture that I'll show you what this looks like. It just looks like you just tie it onto the hands, maybe. So that's about the only direction that I can see on this. I'll be honest, the reins, there's not a lot of good direction on what to do, so I think just kind of roll with it. So now we got the left leg with the foam. It's labeled Q. We're going to slide it up the pants, and then we're going to hook it. We got these couple of prongs here. We're just going to kind of hook that in. Now on the same leg, it wants you to put boot labeled S. So we're gonna go do that. Don't forget you got this cotter pin on there to kind of hold that foot in place. Now we're gonna go do the same thing on the other side with the right leg T. Again, you've got these kind of prongs. We're gonna slide these down the pants, hook that up.
How's your basement? You get water?
I thankfully didn't get any water in the basement. Another thing that I'm missing. Where's the rest of his leg? How do you put the boot on him? Like, am I missing a part? Like, this doesn't have a, it's just done. There's nothing here. Oh, what the hell is this? Now we're cooking. Man, we're learning a lot today, folks. All right, so now you got the right leg frame labeled R. This is gonna go right there. And then this is going to hook right into that like so. And then the boot, which is labeled S, is gonna go right here. Again, with the boot, you got one of these cotter pins that's gonna hold that into place. I can't understand these instructions to save my life, what it wants us to do next. All right, so now we got the belt labeled U. We're gonna go and, it looks like that just kind of, what the heck? I think the belt just kind of wraps around his waist. It's got some Velcro on it, so there's some Velcro on the pants, so that belt just literally connects onto the Velcro that's onto the pants. All right, so we're doing great today, Carl. Doing great. All right, so now we got the axe labeled V, Now we got the axe labeled, so now we got the axe, it's labeled V. We're gonna go and it looks like it's got some Velcro on it. I think it just kind of hooks. What does it even tell you how to put this thing in? It looks like it's just kind of on its hip or something. So it's got some Velcro. So I think we're just gonna Velcro it onto his waist or something. All right, we're running out of things here. What else we got? We got the legs. I think these instructions are the worst. I gotta be honest, these instructions don't give you any verbal instructions. It's just a bunch of black and white pictures. And to be honest with you, they kind of suck. We're just gonna kind of go rogue now, and we're just gonna do what we've got left. We got Y, which is the right foreleg of the horse. We're gonna go and put that on. And I believe we're gonna use one of these larger screws for that. Now we're gonna do the left horse's foreleg, which is labeled X. We're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna take one of the larger screws and we're gonna put that on. All right, now we got the horse's tail labeled N. Same thing, we're gonna kind of put that in, and I believe that that's gonna be what this last screw that we've got here is used for. Now we've got the stirrups, they're labeled W. You're basically gonna go and you're gonna put each boot here in this, and then you're gonna throw it kind of over the horse's back and then do the other boot. All right, so there you have it, the Knight Dullihan. I want to be honest, this was not an easy task to put this guy together. This is easily a two-person job. I think I'm going to wait a little bit until it gets a little darker out so you can actually see the animatronics on it and see what he looks like. Man, just can't come outside and do anything. I got dogs barking, people mowing lawns, neighbors coming out to chit-chat. Yeah, he's got something to say too. So this guy is actually pretty awesome once you get him set up. I know the setup was kind of a pain in the butt and there's some issues there. A lot of that was user error, but we figured that out. So the Knight Dullihan was actually an Irish folklore about a headless horseman guy that would have his head in his hand. He was always riding a black horse. It's what inspired Irving Washington to write The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. And Dullihan actually means hobgoblin, or there's like a variation of it that means hobgoblins. So there's some fun facts for those that were wondering what this guy even was. So one thing I like is that even when the animatronics aren't working, his eyes and his chest and the horse's eyes are still lit up. Gives a scene a little bit of extra ambiance when it's not moving. So this guy speaks 6 different phrases. Let's check those out right now.
I seek vengeance for the ones who took my head and left me like to offer your head as a part of my collection. After all, this one isn't even mine. I am bound to this unhallowed place, forever adding souls and skulls to my collection, as my head was taken from me many moons ago. I haven't found the one that fits the same, but yours looks nice. How about you give me your fresh head to replace this old one I stole last night? My steed and I have been together for countless generations, stealing souls and searching for my lost skull, and we have both grown weary. Now every Halloween it is the same old thing, until today. Your soul is the last we need in payment to remove the chains that bind us to this place. Now come and offer your soul so we may live in peace and get vengeance on those that cursed Come closer, weary traveler. Do you feel that chill in the air? The touch of my steed's icy breath? The shiver running up your spine? It is your instinct warning you that you should not be here, and that you were about to be hunted. Fortunately for you, I'll give you a running start. I do enjoy the chase and earning my trophies. Time's up. Here I come. Heed my call, mortal. The darkness has beckoned you. Let us begin the dance of death. The horseman rides, and your soul shall be my prize. Will you come willingly, or must I chase you down? It'll be marvelous for me either way.
This guy has a few different settings. You can either have it with just the lights on. So say you didn't want the motions and the animatronics and talking and all that. You could do that. You could do it where he's on like a step pad, or you can do it with just the sensor where when somebody walks by it, it'll set it off. So that thing's pretty cool. You can see that the horse's chest kind of lights up too. So you got the chest of the Dullihan, you got the chest of the horse, you got the eyes of the horse, and then the eyes of, well, the eyes and the skull really of the Dullihan light up, which is kind of cool. Overall, I didn't love setting this guy up because the directions were not very clear on a lot of different areas. This is probably one of the more difficult animatronics that I've set up, but I think it is definitely worth setting up though, because this guy, without a doubt, is going to be a hit at your haunt this year. So this guy's 8.5 foot tall. I know that's kind of hard to tell by scale, but he's super tall. He's almost as tall as the house. And for the price of $379, it's actually not terrible considering all the detail that you're basically getting a horse and a rider with this. And the fact that the head talks, it says 6 different phrases, it lights up, you know, in different areas. I think it's pretty cool. Without a doubt, it's definitely worth the $379. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this guy if you have him, if you've set him up already. You know, what do you like about him? What do you not like about him? Let me know in the comments. Also, I think this guy would look really cool if you had some smoke effect and maybe some lighting behind it too. You know, if you had one of your fog machines out here with, you know, a strobe light, or like maybe like a red or a green light to kind of, you know, emphasize some of that smoke, and I think that would look sweet. Well, if you like this video, you want to see more like it, make sure you smash that subscribe button, Leave in the comments, what are your thoughts on this guy? If you got him, how difficult was it for you to put together? Did this video help you put him together in a more meaningful way? Until next time, stay spooky, my friends. Cheers.